The hurdy-gurdy sounds best when it's in balance between the right amount of rosin on the wheel, good cotton on the strings, and proper bridge adjustment. If these are out of balance, you can get unpleasant tones. In this video, we'll discuss adjusting the chanter bridge. As always, you want to avoid touching the wheel surface with your fingers, as oils from your hands can negatively affect the wheel. Here's a better look at our chanterelle bridge. Why would we need to adjust this? Well, it's made of wood, which means it can occasionally shrink or swell with changing seasonal humidity. If it shrinks, the strings will become too heavy on the wheel, making them sound harsh or screechy. Before we can start making adjustments to the bridge, we first need to find which string is the problem, if we're getting weird sounds. So we'll just go through our melody strings one at a time and test them. I'll test this one first, just play up the scale, make sure I'm getting good clean notes all the way up. That one's fine, so I'm just gonna move past it to my other one. What a screechy mess. We're gonna fix that. Again, if you're having this issue, you want to change the cotton first, as usually that'll take care of it. But I've just changed the cotton on this, and I'm still getting the sound. So there's two ways to make adjustments to the melody string bridge. The first one is with shims. I'll just take a piece of paper from my computer printer, tear off a little fold there. This is the shim. You can see there's a groove in which this string rests. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tuck my shim under the groove to raise the string up ever so slightly. Now you can see I've got this paper tucked in the groove just under the string. This raises it just a little bit, making it not as heavy on the wheel. We'll test it again. It's better, but it still sounds a little harsh to me. So in this case, I'll just keep adding shims until I get a good clean sound. I'll put a second piece of paper under there to raise it up just a little more. That's one method. There's a second way of adjusting the bridge as well. Some hurdy-gurdies have thumb wheels built into the bridge. Hopefully you can see them peeking out there, the little metal discs. An alternative to using shims is to use the thumb wheels to raise this a little bit. On our instruments, I turn them counterclockwise. I'll just go a quarter turn at a time. I'll try to make this visible here, which raises it just a little bit. Then I'll test it. Still a little harsh sounding. I'll give it another quarter turn. A little better still. I'll go ahead and give it yet another turn. And I think that did the trick. One thing I would like to add about the thumb wheels, if you find them difficult to turn or really stiff, you can use a flathead screwdriver as an assistant. Take the blade of the screwdriver, put it in the little grooves of the thumb wheel on the edges. I don't know if you could tell, I'm actually turning my thumb wheel right there. You may find that once you turn it a little bit with a screwdriver, that it's loosened up enough where it's quite easy to turn with your fingers. As I mentioned a moment ago, the chanter bridge can also swell up a little bit, lifting the strings too far off the wheel so they're not making a good connection. Symptoms of this include getting a fluttery sound or a false high-pitched note like a harmonic. Also, your upper notes may not work at all. In this case, like the string's just getting pushed off the wheel where it's not making a connection anymore. I'll demonstrate. There it goes. Part of the problem here is it could lift the strings enough so the string's not actually even touching the wheel anymore at all. It's just the cotton making the connection. I can test this by sliding the cotton off to the side and see if it still makes sound. In this case it doesn't. See how it only makes sound with the cotton? You won't get good notes that way. The way to fix that is to go the reverse direction. A moment ago we raised it up. Well, here we'll lower it. If you have shims, you could keep removing them until you get the sound you want. If you're using thumb wheels, then I will turn them clockwise a quarter turn at a time till I get a good sound. I'll slide my cotton off to test it. And it's still not making a good connection. I'll go ahead and lower it just a little more. There we go. Now I'll put my cotton back on. And that's all there is to it.